So this is the first time in a really long time that we've had a solar eclipse that has crossed the United States. And when we're talking about crossing the United States, we're really talking about it crossing from the Pacific coast to the Atlantic coast. And during that time, it's actually going to cross right through Nebraska. And we're going to have something called totality. And totality is when you get the sun being completely covered up by the moon. And the thing about it is that when we're talking about those kinds of situations, a lot of things can happen. Sometimes the sun doesn't get covered completely, and you get like a ring around it. Sometimes you have a situation where the earth is like, you're on the place that you're at on the earth doesn't totally complement where it's at. And so it's all based on geometry and how specifically that moon travels in front of the path of the sun. So it's kind of a big deal as far as that goes in general. Plus, in addition to that, where it's also the first time that it's happened since the 1200s. When you're talking about a total eclipse of the sun that has gone from the Pacific coast of the United States to the Atlantic coast of the United States, crossing right through Nebraska, it's a major deal. Eclipses happen all the time, but the opportunities to see them are very few and far between. Starting at about 9 o'clock, we're going to be doing some training on how to view a solar eclipse, what a solar eclipse is. We're going to be talking about how solar eclipses happen. We're going to be watching some really great videos on the solar eclipse. And then once that training happens, we're going to be doing kind of some station activities. You're going to be traveling from one classroom to another classroom, learning about how the solar eclipse occurs, what is the math behind the solar eclipse, what's the history behind solar eclipses and how it's affected different people and different nations across the world throughout history. People used to be really scared of them. So we're going to be doing how it affects literature, we're going to be doing how it affects art and things like that, because it actually has affected human existence over a really long period of time. So we're going to be doing different activities that involve the solar eclipse in general. And in addition to that, you're going to have the opportunity to go outside and see it. Dr. Ortega has purchased us some solar glasses, which is the only safe way to view a total solar eclipse, or any solar eclipse for that matter, or the sun for that matter. So he's purchased all of these solar glasses so that all of the students at Buffett and all of the staff at Buffett and the cafeteria workers of Buffett and the custodial staff at Buffett all have the opportunity to view this solar eclipse. I know people don't care about having to return permission slips, and they're thinking, oh, I'll just do it at the beginning of the year. But what a lot of students and what a lot of the staff hasn't even realized yet is that this total solar eclipse is occurring on the third day of school for fifth graders and the second day of school for sixth, seventh, and eighth graders. And because of that situation, we need actually those permission slips back, because if you don't bring the permission slip back, you're not going to get to participate in the fun activities. And by fun activities, I mean not just the stations in classes, not just the moving around from place to place with your students, but we're also going to have a school-wide picnic lunch that's going to be held outside on one of our fields, either the soccer field or the football field, depending upon where the sun is at. We're going to have team building activities and whole-wide, school-wide events. It's going to be a really cool event. If you haven't had the opportunity when you were in elementary school to have those big track meet days, this is kind of on the same equivalent as those things, except for with science, in a really awesome, spectacular way. And if you don't bring the permission slip back, you're literally going to be inside and not get to view the eclipse at all. So much so that you're actually going to be in an interior room so that you will not have the opportunity to see it all. You'll be able to watch it probably on television, but that's really pretty much it. We at Omaha Public Schools across the district are not allowed to have anybody view the eclipse that does not have a permission slip. Bring back those permission slips, because if you don't get to participate, and that would be sad.